Joining.
Here we go. Look, awesome. Get our morning started. Okay, here on the West Coast, it's morning. Yes. Sharon, hey, good to see you. We didn't see you last week. Carolyn, good to see you. Awesome. Eric, I know you've missed a couple weeks. It's great to see you again. I love that we do actually have so many people that just really set their watch to the coffee connection, right? That's what I know. I know that's what we're doing, right? Yeah, so it's a great way to start our day, though. It's wonderful. Ah, Jeremiah, hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Awesome. So we're going to give it just a minute and say warm welcomes. Does anybody have any great epic things they did in the industry over the last few days that you want to share? And we've got silence.
I'll jump in on that.
Oh, look at there. We got Adrian already jumping in.
Sustainable Aviation Conference here in Dallas, and we have some really influential intermodal agencies, folks that are out here discussing the latest and greatest, and you know what that looks like for aviation. So it's interesting. If you're in the Dallas area the next few days, come join us at the Sustainable Aviation Conference. We have Yolanka Wolf from CAMI. We have a lot of three-letter agencies that we don't want to get into, but it's definitely some interesting conversations on where the future is taking us as far as sustainable aviation is concerned. And it's just fascinating things to learn about. But and that's part of the networking that I'll be talking on later on. You know, we really need to engage and be proactive as far as expanding our networking, and that usually leads to better business practices or expanding and growing your business. But yeah, it's there's always something happening in the autonomous or uncrewed space. So if you're in Dallas, check it out.
Dallas, yeah. It sounds like there's always something happening there in Texas.
Right. We just wrapped up South by Southwest in Austin. I got to see some really great colleagues at those conferences, but a lot happening, a lot going on.
And it's exciting time in our industry, that's for sure. Yeah. So I also see that we have a few other people that are jumping in here. And I think there he is, Charles. We have Charles Warner on here, and he just emailed me about something that's really cool. So I want to make sure that we give an opportunity for him to do a quick little shout out. And so, Charles, you want to go ahead and open the mic? Tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, hey Desi, it's great to see you again as always. We just had our conference in Busch Gardens with over 600 people in attendance, making us the largest public safety UAS conference in the world. So that was exciting. As part of that, we announced for the first time that we are launching a new initiative called Women Drone Responders. And our goal there is to capture the women that are in drone responders, although we have quickly learned that it's not just drones, it's aviation that we're looking at. So we've got people from the FAA and NASA and others that have all said they want to participate. So the idea is to capture the successes of women so that we can, and girls for that matter, if we have some girls doing that, so that we can share that with the bigger population. But the idea is to use their successes as a way of promoting the opportunities that are available in aviation for girls and women. So that's going to be something that we're doing, so that we've kind of expanded out beyond just public safety, just because we've gotten so many people wanting to participate. So if anybody here is interested in participating, send me an email to charles@droneresponders.org, and we will be in touch some more. And Sharon, I'll be wanting to reach out and talk with you about partnering on this as well.
Fantastic. That is awesome. So glad to hear. I was really excited when you sent that email this morning. What an opportunity. I love that. So yes, don't forget to reach out. If you could, actually, Charles, if you could put your email into our chat, that way if somebody wanted to save the chat and get with you, they would have that opportunity. And with that,
I've got one.
You've got one. All right, let's hear.
Yes, so not the Monday yesterday, but last week, Monday, I spent part of my day with Brianna, who's the owner of AgB, and it's a agriculture spray company. She's running the business, and Nate is her pilot. So she's the only woman in California who has a agriculture spray company. And yeah, so when I went to see their, if I remember well, their P100 Pegasus go in the air, and that thing weighs like over 100 pounds when there's, stuff in there. That was pretty impressive.
Wow. That's exciting. And there's so much going in the ag industry right now. And so, especially here in Southern California, I see a lot. So, what an exciting day for you. Awesome. There we go.
Yes.
Maybe we should invite her to be on our coffee connection, right?
Yeah, I think she'd be very happy to talk with us for sure.
See, that's what happens. Anybody reaches out, boy, that's the first thing I do. All right, let's see if they want to be on the coffee connection. Awesome. Okay, so we have also really quick, like, it looks like the first lady of drones has jumped in here. Wow, been a long time since we've seen Kim on this show. So if you think back about 3 years ago, she was my co-host. Hi, Kim, how you doing?
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, everybody. When I heard Adrian was coming on, come on, bro. It's been a year since we've seen each other. I got to see what you were up to. And it's great to see everybody. Sharon, Doc, it's great to see you in person. I mean, I can name everybody. Sheila, like, it's just so great to see your face. Parker, come on. So yeah, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Jeremiah, it's been a while. So Eric.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
that is a great segue over to our spotlight speaker, because yes, everybody is here because Adrian Doko is here, and we are thrilled to have him share with us. We also have with us Chelsea. She's going to be sharing with us as well. So we're going to segue over, and it looks like Adrian's got his slide deck up. Go ahead, Adrian. You are all set. I'll make you.
Right. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really am a huge fan of Women in Drones. I've been a member for several years, and I love what the organization is doing. And I just want to give you your flowers. You guys are doing a phenomenal job engaging and networking, etc. So a little bit about the presentation. We're going to touch on several things, but the first thing is, we have somewhat of an oversaturated market, and I want to kind of motivate or perhaps inspire folks that are struggling or trying to find the path forward on how they can bring their services, businesses, etc., to the next level. So we'll get started with navigating an autonomous future here. For those of you, let's see if I can, oh, here it is. I guess we'll slide it through. So Adrian Doko, the executive director of the AUVSI Lone Star chapter, also the lead drone pro for North Texas, as well as integration director for UAS at the North Central Texas Council of Governments. And then finally, the CEO and founder of Imperial Aerial. We are a service provider / consulting company that work in the autonomous space. But it's been a thrilling ride the past 9 years since we founded Imperial. And we've transitioned. We've really learned that you have to be mobile and agile when it comes to this industry, specifically for Part 107 service providers, etc. So I want to touch on the navigating the future of autonomy and what you need to consider. A lot of technological advancements, specifically here in the past 3 to 6 months, with announcements, whether it's in the artificial intelligence space, augmented learning, etc. So we need to recognize these latest technological advancements, the equipment considerations. There's always new platforms being developed, launched. I just got an email today. DJI just announced a new drone, FPV drone, but the equipment considerations or your platforms are crucial for business practices. And then the regulatory frameworks that are popping up here. There's Remote ID was just implemented. Well, is being enforced now officially. And there's several other hurdles, regulatory hurdles, if you will, that we need to be prepared for. So this is where the networking comes in, you know, and networking across various domains is crucial, not just in your specific vertical, but, you know, you might want to touch into networking through all different domains. You know, autonomous vehicles, robotics, AI systems. So we're going to take a structured look at how to navigate the future of autonomy. And the first one is the elephant in the room: technological advancements. I mean, it's hard to keep up with all the latest and greatest, but innovation and development, continuous research and development in machine learning, computer vision, sensor technology, and robotics to improve the reliability and efficiency of autonomous systems. Now, when I say autonomous systems, it can mean a lot of things, right? Here at AUVSI, we kind of touch on all forms of autonomy, whether it's ground, air, maritime, I mean, even space, essentially. So keep that in mind. I don't want us to get boxed into feeling that we only serve the air domain, because we've expanded to offer services, ground, air, and maritime, where we use different platforms to either inspect or you know, for data acquisition. So keep that in mind. Don't box yourself in until one vertical. You might want to expand, you know, through these different autonomous systems. And then integration, you know, we need a seamless integration of autonomous systems into the existing infrastructures like smart cities, transportation networks, to ensure they can operate efficiently and safely alongside human controlled systems. Now, this is one of the companies, I'm not sponsored, but I am a client of theirs, and I would implore you to look into it. This is a company I found at Exponential a couple of years ago. They're based in Germany, and this is the importance of networking or engaging at these types of conferences or conventions. FlyPix AI is just an enormous benefit to our company, because it saves us time and it offers a lot of data and efficiencies. So FlyPix AI, we use it for road and pavement inspections. I know the big news article this week is the bridge collapse in Baltimore. And that, you know, we have over 600,000 bridges in the United States alone. And there's been some initiatives or bills passed, infrastructure acts that really dedicate funding to essentially upgrade our infrastructure, and roads, pavements, bridges are going to all be part of that concept. So start exploring different applications when you're using, whether it's drones, ground robotics, you know, maritime robotics, things of that nature. These things have been life-saving for our business, because it really gives us a holistic view of the potential that we can utilize these applications and offer our clients a substantial solution to their issues. We've been doing a lot of rooftop inspections. There's been severe weather, whether it's tornadoes, hail, and this has just been really phenomenal for us to utilize this artificial intelligence application. And it's, you know, you can see the anomalies. By anomalies, I mean something that's not normal, really, and it'll kind of highlight and annotate all the data that you required, whether it's through your drone or ground, maritime, etc., and really offer a macro view to the engineers or the clients that you're engaging, to give them, at the end of the day, they really need a solution for the problems they're having. Another big one is oil and gas infrastructure, utilities. Energy is a big deal right now. You know, we're struggling with our capacity and energy, and companies are really looking for that solution to provide and keep their systems efficient. And one of the benefits that we have as an autonomous industry is we're a non-destructive solution. So generally, it would take the company that inspecting the subject to shut down the infrastructure or the factory, the site, etc., and they would have to go in there manually and you know, kick the tires around. Whereas we, with our with our solutions, we can essentially inspect the subject without, shutting it down and losing productivity for that site. And it's just a great selling point when you're approaching a potential client to include that you are a non-destructive form of inspections or solutions that they may be looking for. So critical infrastructure is another great one. We have a lot of solar installments, wind farm assessments, but I just wanted to point this out that there's some new technologies that we should embrace, specifically in the artificial intelligence space, that we can incorporate into our daily workflow. And then NVIDIA just recently announced, these chips that they just announced are really game changing, and you're going to be expecting a lot more coming down the pipeline with chips and different applications that we can implement in our day-to-day. Some other considerations when we're navigating autonomy is ethical considerations, decision-making, the challenges of the autonomous systems, especially in situations where human life is at risk. So we're not going to lose our jobs. There's still going to be pilots and operators that are making those crucial decisions, but these new technologies are definitely going to make our job a lot easier. You also need to consider bias and fairness, ensuring that these systems are free from, biases, that make decisions that are fair and equitable. The regulatory framework is a big one. Safety standards, we definitely need to do a better job on establishing international standards for the design, testing, and deployment. Privacy and security is a big one. At AUVSI, we really double down on cybersecurity, and we're trying to help create regulations that protect individuals' privacy and data security, especially in drones, et cetera. And then liability and accountability is another hot button topic. So the legal framework that address the liability in cases of accidents or malfunctions or any catastrophic damage that might happen. So there's definitely got to be liability and accountability. And then finally, the societal impacts, workforce transition, managing that transition of the workforce as we automate tasks traditionally performed by operators, including retraining and education programs. And then, the accessibility. This is just really, we're barely scratching the surface here, but we're democratizing aviation through autonomy to improve accessibility for disabled, our elderly folks, offering them greater independence and mobility. And then a one that I preach about a lot is public perception and trust. Building that trust is going to be huge. In the beginning, it was public acceptance, but now we're coming to realize that people are accepting these technologies and actually requesting them, specifically here in North Texas with Wing and several other drone service providers that are actively delivering packages. I was testifying at the city of Plano a couple of weeks ago, and other officials were like, hey, we want these drones delivering in our cities. How can we integrate these types of services into our cities? So you're going to notice a lot more expansion once we get more trust and acceptance from our industry. Now, there's some other things that I want to touch on real quick before we get into events and other happenings. But the world is witnessing a surge in the development and deployment of autonomous systems, autonomous vehicles navigating our streets, to drones revolutionizing agriculture and logistics. So the potential for innovation is limitless, and it's important that we proactively shape that trajectory of this revolution. So I want to really double down on being proactive versus reactive. Our industry tends to be reactive. We always, there's a new law or a new regulation or and then we kind of pound the table and either disagree or don't like what's being proposed. So we have to do a better job of being proactive. And the answer is in the fundamental principles of innovation and progress. We have to maintain being proactive instead of reactive. And by being proactive, we create the initiative to guide the development of autonomous systems towards ethical, sustainable, and beneficial ends. So this is where the networking kind of plays a pivotal role by connecting with experts, researchers, practitioners in the field of autonomous systems. We gain valuable insights into the latest development and emerging trends. I couldn't tell you how many times, whether by attending a conference or networking events like we're doing today, that you can learn a few things that you can adapt to your workflow. So networking is a huge benefit. So a networking enables us to exchange ideas, share best practices, and collaborate on innovative solutions. Through collective intelligence and collaboration, we can stay ahead of the curve and shape the future of autonomy. So furthermore, networking fosters interdisciplinary collaboration, bringing together experts from diverse fields such as robotics, AI, engineering, ethics, and policy. And this interdisciplinary approach is essential for addressing the multifaceted challenges and opportunities. So by pooling our knowledge and expertise, we can navigate the complex landscape with clarity and purposes. So I'm going to get into a little bit about what AUVSI does and who we are. And Chelsea, feel free to chime in. Chelsea is part of our marketing team at AUVSI. She's joining us from Holland. So thank you for partnering with us. But AUVSI, the Association for Uncrewed Vehicle Systems International, we're the world's largest nonprofit organization dedicated to the advancement of uncrewed systems and autonomy. And it's been over 50 years, founded in 1972, where we advocate for policies and regulations that expand the use of these technologies, particularly in defense, commercial, and public markets. And we're regarded, by all levels of government as the credible voice of industry. So influential conveners through events and education, and we try to drive that public awareness, acceptance to deploy these systems. So before we move on, is there any questions or anything that we can help answering? All right, we'll keep it moving. So a little bit about AUVSI Lone Star. We try to focus on our advocacy, education, market growth, and we hope to provide value through different services that we offer, whether it's hosting events, providing testimony as a subject matter expert for specific issues, and a whole other host of opportunities that we offer. We host monthly fly-ins to try to educate recreational flyers or people that are new to this industry. So if you haven't, try to engage your local chapter. There's over 30 chapters in the nation. I think it's been extremely beneficial for me, but for a lot of our members. And networking is crucial for our industry. So it's not what it's who you know in some circumstances, and to really partner or engage / network with different verticals, different organizations like Women in Drones, like drone responders, the Drone Service Provider Alliance. There's several other ones out there, but it really helps guide you on how to navigate a future in this industry. So this is one of the things that AUVSI has done that we're super proud of. This alongside the AAM Prepared, but I'll touch on Drone Prepared because we've been seeing a lot of issues with legislators or folks in Congress with misguided ideas on how they would like to see the industry move forward. So AUVSI and their advocacy their advocacy team at AUVSI put together a one-pager, and you can look that up. The Drone Prepared is basically a flight plan, a high-level educational document to legislators, because they don't really know any better. They're not dealing with these technologies on a daily basis like we are in our workspace. So we've created this one-pager to kind of educate them on why some things are a bad idea, some things might be a good idea. So we're proposing model legislations for UAS, and we've created legal white papers to give the data sets or the cases for federal control over low altitude airspace. And then we have chapter leader summits that kind of engage at that municipality or state level. We're essentially the boots on the ground that kind of mobilize the industry and the community to kind of direct what is the best way forward or the path forward for our industry. So next up here, we do have Exponential coming up April 21st through the 24th, I believe. And that Wednesday, we are hosting the Autonomy. We're going to have live demonstrations from different platform providers, whether it's drone delivery, drone light shows, several other exhibitors that we're under embargo for at the moment. But we also have fabulous drone light shows. We're anticipating 2 to 3 drone light shows. And this is going to take place at Rocco Park, which is overlooking the USS Midway. If you know, familiar with the area, it's a huge retired aircraft carrier. And we'll have the Pacific Coast or the San Diego Bay in the backdrop. We're anticipating some really beautiful sunsets. We have live music. We have up-and-coming country music star, Houston Bernard, as well as some other entertainment. And then we have an open bar. So there'll be adult beverages. We have 4 bars with mixologists on deck, whipping up margaritas, martinis, you name it, beer and wine, as well as soft drinks. And then I'll drop the link at the chat if you're interested on attending that event. But a great way to network and really see the latest and greatest as far as new applications, software, platforms, to kind of give you an idea on how to transition and grow your business or your solutions for your clients. So definitely check out Autonomy and some more information. So this is kind of an AI generated image of the event, but it'll have our drone light show. We're anticipating, anywhere from 500 to 700 people. Now, Exponential is, if you haven't been before, it's been life-changing for me personally. The first Exponential, I believe, I was at really opened my eyes to the diverse capabilities that, uncrewed or autonomous systems offers. And, we're expecting over 8,000 attendees and, 650 or more exhibitors with educational programs that address the industry's most pressing issues from cross domains, cross sectors, industries, function perspectives. So this is a great opportunity for those folks that are in the industry to really engage and grow your network. The people that I've met at these conventions, I mean, I've met anywhere from scientists to, folks that are on the legislative end at this, to people that are putting, tinkering in their garage, building the new platforms of tomorrow. So I would implore you to engage in conventions like this, because it really helps you grow and flourish as a business. But Exponential is always revealing some new either technologies or announcements. We'll also have a lot of FAA representation. Kevin Morris will be at the Autonomy event. That's the after-hour event from 5 to 10 p.m. that we're hosting. We have John McBride, who will be our master of ceremony. He's the new chairman of the droning company. And we have a lot of other surprises and awards that will be given out that day. So please, I implore you to really, be a part of the community, really network and engage and grow your database of, who's who in the industry, because, that PhD or bachelor's degree is great to have, on your portfolio or your bio, but really knowing the key players and who's making the decision makers in the room is so crucial in our industry, and these events are specifically designed for us to meet those folks. So I'll wrap it up here, but I'd love to engage in questions, answers, etc. And I'll maybe let Chelsea jump in and go in and maybe touch on something I might have missed.
Awesome.
Thank you, Adrian. That was really, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I did put a link in there to the Exponential. just to let you know that I put that into our chat. But yes, Chelsea, we would love to segue over and hear some more.
Thank you. That was really comprehensive from Adrian. So I don't honestly have a ton to say that he did not already touch on, but for those who don't know me yet, I saw some familiar faces in the chat and some unfamiliar names. I'm Chelsea Jepson. I'm the Director of Communications at AUVSI. So if you see me on site at Exponential, please do say hello. So Exponential, this year we are expecting a pretty busy and dynamic event, like Adrian was saying with some of those stats. I think we have more than 60 countries of attendees who have registered so far. So it's definitely a very international show. Lots of speakers, attendees, exhibitors from a lot of different locations and market segments and technology domains. There's, of course, the show floor, which I'm sure you have all seen. If you haven't been, at least photos of it before. We also host educational programming for all 3 days of the main show, and on the pre-show day on the Monday, hi Patrice, where there will be several co-located events, including Dawn Zolday is doing her Law Tech Connect for, is this the second or third? I think it might be the third year running now. And she also has a networking event. As Adrian was talking about the parts of networking, she has a networking event too at the show. So a lot of familiar faces and names. This year we are expecting a lot of demos, which is really exciting to me. We have a whole series of drone demos outside on this kind of balcony area as you exit the convention center. So you come out of the convention center and you can see the port and the shore there and the Pacific Ocean, and that's where the drones are going to take off. I think every 30 minutes is a different exhibitor throughout the day, all 3 days. And then this is also our first show back at the at a shoreside location in many years. So we're also going to be able to have maritime domain demos this year. I know this is a drone focus group, but like Adrian was saying, really important to get to know people from different domains, different sectors. So there are going to be some maritime demonstrations. I'm really looking forward to checking those out this year. It's a little different than we've had in the past. This is also the first Exponential that we are hosting since AUVSI launched our Defense Advocacy Committee last year. I think I saw Wasim on the call. I think he's a member of our Defense Advocacy Committee. We are expecting a strong defense showing at this year's show. So in addition to multiple domains, there are also multiple sectors. Johns Hopkins has a big role that they always play at Exponential. So there's academic, there's commercial, there's defense, there's civil. We have the drone responders co-located event on the Monday. So many things, can't possibly touch on them all. But I think it's going to be a really great event. I'm really looking forward to seeing so many of you there. Looking forward to my personal area of interest in the show is what Adrian was talking about with public acceptance and public perception, being in communications and marketing. So I'm looking forward to a lot of sessions there. I also want to put a plug in that I am the AUVSI staff point of contact for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, DEIA advisory group. And we are going to be doing some programming focused on DE&I as well. We've invited all of the members of AUVSI's Emerging Leaders program. So that's people who are within the first 3 years of being in the uncrewed systems industry. So either they are new to the workforce or they have changed jobs. So there are also, of course, some women involved there as well. So would love to make some connections if people are interested in meeting and maybe mentoring a little bit on site some of our emerging leaders that we'll have. I said a lot of things. I would rather open it up to Q&A than keep talking.
Oh, I love it. Well, let's just start kicking this off by throw it into the chat. And who is actually going, has already booked a ticket, can't wait to get there. I know some people, I don't want to shout out names or anything, but some people are coming in early, going to make a vacation out of it. So it's really, really exciting to be able to network and see everybody. I am very excited. The minute you said anything about being a drone light show, I'm like, oh, I'm on it. I cannot wait. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. We have a few other people online too. I saw that Scott jumped in here too. So hopefully we'll be seeing him there. Do have a couple more people already registered. Does anybody have any questions about the actual AUVSI, the show, the lineup, or anything in that regard? Who's going on Monday to see Dawn? I think a few people. There you go. Chelsea's going.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be there as well. I just wanted to touch on Kim's question for the AI software specifically for roofing. Yeah, I mean, Kim, it's amazing. We were previously, before adapting this technology, we were doing case by case or house by house inspections, but with this artificial intelligent software, now we're capable of doing blocks of houses and essentially cities, whole cities. So, and it goes in there, and the data that we provide, you can go and annotate and adjust the amount of AI that's being used. But it's just a game changer, and definitely look into, if you're doing roofing inspections, whether it's for insurance companies, the municipalities, et cetera. It's a great way to, streamline your process. So great question. Let's see, any other questions?
I put a link in there as well for
okay.
And then it looked like Amy had posted something in our chat as well. And oh, I just lost it. I scrolled too far.
Yeah, I looked at her question, and that's a great point. There's a lot of media that probably misspoke on AI and drones and et cetera. So, autonomous flight is important to many, yet the reality and knowledge of the tools that enhance drones are misunderstood. And that's where AUVSI and organizations like Women in Drones and several others can really be the North Star for those conversations, and explaining how, first and foremost, we're saving lives. I know we have Charles on the call. That's our biggest selling point. When we tell people we're saving lives utilizing these technologies, they tend to listen. And then later down the road, through the efficiencies, utilizing this tech, we're saving time, we're saving money, et cetera. But great point, Amy. We need to do a better job as ambassadors for this industry on educating folks on why, AI and drones and autonomous technology needs to be widely accepted. So thank you for that.
Excellent. Yes. I saw that Nicole has a booth there. Is anybody else got a booth? And Nicole, you want to open the mic and just tell us a little bit about what we can expect at your booth? That'll be exciting.
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
We sure can.
Perfect. So let me just turn on my camera. So yeah, I'm representing UXV Technologies. So we are an expert within ground control stations, payloads, and swappable radio models. And we will actually have our first own booth this year, quite large. So you can come by and see what we are working on and some of the collaborations we have with different drone manufacturers, system integrators, and the US Army. So we're both in defense and the commercial space.
Wonderful. Awesome. And what booth number was that again?
3243.
Awesome. Try and check it out. All right. Also in our chat, it looks like Tani has said that she's already registered and she's got a lot of her students signed up. Can you kind of elaborate, either one of you, Chelsea or Adrian, elaborate a little bit more as far as if somebody was involved with educational sector, STEM or something, what we could expect along those lines?
Yeah, so I know that Kim on our team is working on a whole lineup of STEM-focused programming. I don't want to speak for her. I do know that last year there was a session of drones in school where they built drones from pieces. I was in there, watched them building drones. It was pretty incredible. There was also they did a tour of the show floor, and they got to meet with several companies and talk about what careers in drones and other sectors of autonomy look like. I know that she's working on some of the same types of things again this year. If you are interested in learning more, I will drop her email here and you can reach out to her to learn specifically if you're trying to bring a group or get involved with that, what the opportunities to get plugged in for STEM and also K-12 exponential is.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and AUVSI also has another branch of it called RoboNation that hosts competitions. It's a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to for academia specifically. And I know I'm pretty sure drone soccer was part of last year. I'm not sure if they'll be there this year, but another great way to spark the interest of the next generation of aviators. So there's definitely a lot of STEM outreach that happens, and you can definitely look forward to seeing some of that at Exponential this year.
Wonderful. It looks like Tawny has unmiked and is showing our camera. No, you're just there, so we can see you. Okay. But we appreciate that you have signed up a lot of your students and we'll be there. Oh, fantastic. So kind of circling back to some of the conversation that you were saying, and we were talking about how the efforts that are being done to promote systems and such like that. What are some of the things that you have seen and have been positive towards promoting either aerial drones or ground robotics or anything in that respect? What has been a really powerful outreach that you've had? And it doesn't matter who wants to, Chelsea or Adrian. Actually, we also have on here Patrice. A lot of AUVSI members here.
Yeah, one of and this is probably 6 or 7 years ago, one of the conferences that I attended really opened my eyes to different capabilities, whether that's through utilizing different sensors. And it really inspired me to really double down on my education. So after viewing some high definition thermal sensors, I went into an organization, got certificated or certified as an aerial thermographer, and that just got me to the next level. I know a lot of us here or in our industry are probably dedicated more to photos and videos or to create content, but I implore you to look into the industrial side of these solutions, whether utilizing different sensors, because the technology is constantly evolving. And sooner or later, we're going to see pneumatic arms where we can actually repair towers, et cetera, or sensors that we haven't even thought about. You know, I know we touched on multispectral and thermal and all different LiDAR capabilities, but it's constantly evolving, and we need to network or attend these conventions to see what the latest and greatest is and how we can incorporate that into our businesses and our workflow. So, you know, that inspired me to get my thermal certification, which in turn inspired me to look into LiDAR and geospatial photogrammetry, which is now this year might inspire me to do something different. But it's definitely, you know, if you're in a rut, or if you don't see where, you can't see around the corner, let's say, Exponential is definitely the spot to do that, because you have companies from all over the world. And keep in mind, regulations in some part of the world are not as restrictive as they are here in the United States. So if you go to Asian countries, European countries, South American countries, some of them are advanced just because they're not regulatory hurdles in place for them to achieve whatever goals they have. And they're doing some phenomenal things. So I would definitely implore you to check out Exponential this year. And if you see me, you know, don't be afraid to reach out. I'm always available. We can have a cup of coffee and talk more. But I'm really excited to be part of this Women in Drones organization. And Desi, you've done a phenomenal job of creating a community of like-minded thinkers.
Yay, thank you. Sharon has given us a platform. Thank you, Sharon, as well. We do have a question in the chat from Amy. And so when we're talking about expanding our knowledge and such like that, is there going to be additional workshops? Is there anything for AI for business along those lines as far as workshops available or learning opportunities at AUVSI?
Do you mind
I
if
know drone, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So really what I'm trying to find out is, obviously AI is a trending word right now, and it's being misused. And it's really important that it's not misused in our industry, because we're already fighting, the media battle of misinformation. And so what I'm trying to ask is there one source of truth? Has any of us, I mean, I could be the one, Women in Drones could be the one, AUVSI could be the one. Is there one source of truth for how AI is developing with drone technology? I haven't seen it. I've been looking for it, but I think it would be a great asset, especially for some of the big guns like AUVSI to keep track of and update as the technology grows. And also we can use it as a guide to give to media and to give to our drone partners in the industry so that they understand. Because look, I said it, I think on a call before, we're not only in the aviation business, a lot of people are also in the construction business, the public safety business, the telecom business. And so we layering on all these complexities. And anyway, knowledge is power, right? And so I was just looking to see if there was one source of truth or a knowledge base that collectively we can count on, to help understanding of what's coming, so it's not scary.
Yeah, that's a great point, Amy. And I think AUVSI touches on that specific question. We have different trusted programs, whether it's the trusted operator program, the trusted platform where we've introduced Green UAS to kind of help businesses navigate that situation. But we also have a trusted cyber division that kind of deals with a lot of either cybersecurity issues or something similar to along those lines. But let me do a little more research on my end to see if we have a specific dedicated solution for artificial intelligence and how we could help clarify any misguided or misleading media or any information that's being out there, that's being provided, let's say. But that's a great question, and I'll look into it and circle back and see what solutions AUVSI can offer.
Thank you, because I need help.
I see Scott's on the call. Maybe you can touch up, Scott.
Yeah, I'm happy to touch on it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Scott Stoffen. I'm Director of Government Affairs for AUVSI. I work with Adrian and our chapter leaders, as well as handle a lot of our state and federal advocacy lobbying. And I come at this from being an attorney and a drone pilot. I also had the benefit of working with Amy in the past as well. When it comes to AI, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head of there's a lot of misconception or misunderstanding about when we say AI, what does that mean, right? And how does that actually fit into the way that we might be integrating it into these technologies and in these use cases? I think that we see a lot of our members using AI in meaningful ways, but also there are a lot of people that look at autonomy or automation as a very similar thing to AI when it's not. Right. When we say artificial intelligence, generally what most people should be thinking about is like, okay, this is a system that's making decisions either based on a lot of knowledge that's been fed into it, or that it's trained and it's sort of making its own idea. What's the next step I'm going to take based on what I've learned? Right. So I think for years we've seen AI being folded into things like image assessment. So something like a roof inspection, where you have a model filled with tons and tons of data over time, where you've had actual physical people going and tagging in things like, oh, this is a hail hit, or this is a place where, we need to fix something. And so AI is being integrated in that manner. There are also some companies that are working on autonomy for things like flight, but that's also one of those risky areas of how safe is it at this point? How do we certify autonomy? And what companies are working on that? We have members that are in the space of doing things like cargo delivery, say somebody like a Reliable Robotics, or also some of the advanced air mobility companies, where AI may not be the full stack taking over every single type of operation. There might be a human in the loop that's using AI as an extra piece to help them sort of deal with the amount of information that's coming in. And so, in talking about it from a multimodal perspective, you look at things like robo-taxis, where there may be a model that's been pulled in that is continually looking at the area around the vehicle while it's driving, and they're using AI or they're using rules. And so I think it's still an ever kind of developing and evolving area. And part of what we do at AUVSI is speaking to our members, speaking to lawmakers to understand what's actually happening right now, what are people developing, what are concerns from the general public or from a lawmaking perspective. How can we make sure that if there's a knee-jerk reaction about, oh, we don't want to allow AI to be used on our streets or in the skies above our neighborhoods, how do we have an intelligent conversation about that? How do we put that into something like an educational campaign or a piece of model legislation that would be helpful and give a platform to members and the general public to have some back and forth discourse about what's a good way that we could think about adopting this safely, and talking about the ways that it benefits things like people who can think about those tasks versus letting the AI do some of the things that we don't want to do or aren't as good as a computer is, where it's very repeatable. It doesn't stop paying attention. And so I think that's a really long discussion that we're going to see happening and continuing to develop over the next 5, 10 plus years in the space.
I agree, Scott. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And Chris made a good point, machine learning versus AI. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about those two things. So anything that can guide us is great. I would just recommend, look at Shield AI's website. They are basically a military AI-enabled flight promoter, and have been doing it. You probably are familiar, but they are also promoting commercial ops. So that's where I think we need somebody to step in and help educate not only the community, but people that are watching the community, investing in the community, and also having these drones fly over them to deliver Oreo cookies. You hear
Shield
me?
AI is an exhibitor exponential, adding another plug for Expo. You can see them and their technology there on site.
It's all
I did see that my colleague, I think Casey Okanya, I saw that she joined. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Casey, but while Adrian was talking about our cyber programs, I was wondering if you would actually want to talk a little bit about Cyber City at Exponential, given that this is a drone-focused audience, and the opportunity for them to do the penetration testing on their AI and autonomy and software for their drones.
Yeah, happy to. Thanks, Jill.
Right.
So nice to meet everyone. I'm Casey Okanya, Director of Trusted Programs for AUVSI. We are launching a new program this year at Expo called Cyber City. So it's meant to be a place for people to come, whether you are deep in the weeds on Cyber City and you're an expert and you want to see if you can hack a drone that we have on site, or tangentially you're interested in what's going on in the space and want to learn more about blue UAS, green UAS, just what you need to know about the different legislative pieces that are happening to that might affect your business as either a manufacturer or a software provider, any of the above. So the most exciting part that I will share with this group, and we're going to kind of start shouting out from the rooftops, is that one of our partners, Dark Wolf, will be offering free penetration testing. So there are limited spots for that, but if you have a platform that you would like to get started in that process and aren't sure what it's going to look like, what it entails, what they need from you, you can sign up and reserve your spot for free penetration testing. That kind of gets you started within the process. So we're very excited to be able to offer that to the audiences this year.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it. Cyber City. Awesome. That will be fantastic. So also there has been several links being put into our chat as far as early bird pricing. Thank you, Adrian, for throwing that in there. Hotel information has been put into the chat as well. And in a little bit different direction. We were asked about, is there going to be a Women in Drones meetup? We are, yes, working on something where we could meet up as well, because it would be fantastic to see everyone in one place, right? And then also the Drone Pros of San Diego are going to be hosting an in-person event on Drone Safety Day, which is the 27th. And so that'll be right there. So if you happen to be staying in town a while, you may want to check that out. And so we'll get you more information on that. Super excited. With that, we are getting up to the top of the hour. It has been wonderful. So much good information. Exciting to see everybody possibly at the end of the month. Really quick, like, don't forget to save the chat, because there really were some really good chat links put in there. And if you're not familiar with that, if you go to the bottom of your chat, you'll have an option for the 3 dots, and it'll say save the chat right there. What is, wait a second, that one went by really fast, but what is the Cyber City website? Is there a website for the Cyber City? Yes, Casey says yes.
Yes. And so I'm going to send it again. The one that I posted that just says Exponential 2024, for whatever reason, the link is showing up that way in the Zoom chat, but it should take you right to the Cyber City page for Expo. Let me know if you have any issues with that. I can send it again in a different format. But that shows you all of the programming that we have at Cyber City, at kind of that hub. It also links out to securing your spot for pen testing. And then there's a link to all of the cyber focused programming. So there is additional cyber track on the programming side that you can attend. And they have speakers on all days focused on different topics there, in addition to kind of the hub to come speak at and engage more.
Wonderful. Also,
And Desi, if I can make one final plug before we close, I'm so sorry. We have confirmed the AUVSI will again be co-hosting the FAA Drone and AEM Symposium. If you want to mark your calendar, that's going to be on July 30th to August 1st at the Baltimore Convention Center. So that is AUVSI's next solely drone-focused event that we'll be hosting.
great. Yay, that's good to know. So we'll be looking for information on that as well. That'll be good. And then don't forget, also in that chat, Adrian put the Eventbrite sign up for the event. And that sounds like an amazing one. I know he touched on several things that are just very enticing, but I love the drone show, the light shows, but just the whole atmosphere sounds wonderful. The dancing and the networking and, okay, the alcohol, but just having a good time and that networking in that type of an environment. It just, you cannot replace that. So looking forward to it. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you had any last minutes, Adrian, Chelsea, or Casey, if you have any last minute things that you'd like to say, we'll wrap it up. Yes, go for it, Adrian.
Yeah, I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in, and Sharon, Desi, the whole Women in Drones thing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's just really making an impact, and you know, we love what you're doing. We will be sharing some special, or let's say, special guests at the event. So don't be surprised if a few people that are on this call will be on stage winning an award of some sort. So we look forward to seeing you guys out there. And if there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Oh, it'll be wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you also, Scott, for jumping in there and sharing with us as well. So hope to see everybody next week, and you have a great day, and can't wait to hear your drone stories. All right. Bye. Thank you.
Chat. Save the chat.
Yes. Save the chat. Awesome. Thank you. That kind of wraps it up.